Philadelphia Eagles are awarded the first pick. Now let's go back to 1933. A kid from Iowa named Jay Berwinger commits to the University of Chicago. He quickly sets the college football world on fire from both sides of the ball, earning many nicknames including the One-Man Team and the Flying Dutchman. He was a force to be reckoned with, and future President Gerald Ford learned that the hard way, earning himself a busted face while tackling Berwinger in 1934.
Berwinger was a hard worker. He spent his time off the field fixing toilets and waiting tables just to supplement his scholarship. His work on the field culminated in the first ever Heisman Trophy in 1935, or as it was called at the time, the Downtown Athletic Club Award.
February 8th, 1936. NFL team top brass are all gathered in a meeting room in the Ritz-Carlton in Philadelphia. The very first NFL draft is underway, and Burt Bell's pick is in. Written next to the Philadelphia Eagles is halfback Jay Berwinger. Burt Bell achieved a lot in his time with the NFL. He went on to become commissioner of the league, was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and there's even an award given out every year in his honor. But Bell never got the man he chose that day in the Ritz. Berwinger knew the talent he had, and he knew what he wanted to get paid for it, $1,000 a game. But cash was difficult to come by in the 30s, even for the NFL. And in a time when most players were making $50 a game, $1,000 was just too much. When Bell couldn't afford him, he traded his draft rights to the Bears, who came close to him, but in the end, they couldn't afford him. So what did Berwinger do? He decided to work for a Chicago rubber. The rubber industry
hit that button.
There's a hole. In the 30s. It proved to be a vital commodity in the war effort. Berwinger never played. Important to know that
oh my god. Just resolve all. That's all you have to do. Resolve.
But none took as much time with them when they walked away as Berwinger, who went on to fight in World War II as a naval officer before starting his own rubber company, J. Berwinger Inc., which he sold in 1992 when it was grossing $30 million a year. He was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 1954.
As for the Eagles following the draft, they would go on to win one game before losing 11 straight. Their first pick in the 1937 draft signed with the Bears, who went on to play in the championship game that year. Life. But now we have a draft, and we can watch Eagles fans welcome their future with open arms. How's that sound? Does it look like a baseball swing?
You still have to do it! Oh my god.
Imagine basketball without dunks. It's like baseball without home runs.
I have 44!
Without fights. In other words, it sucks. But dunks weren't always a part of the game. It's difficult to pinpoint the exact moment they became a part of basketball, but history takes us back to the stage set by Nazi Germany in a time when dunks were so frightening that Japan tried to ban tall players altogether. The dunk is one of the most exciting plays in sport. Children around the globe grow up imitating the players who dunk the best. You're probably saying to yourself, I get it. Of course dunks are awesome. But who dunked first? Why won't anyone tell me who dunked first? You're welcome. The evolution of the dunk has many beginnings. The most recent being in July of 2002, when Lisa Leslie became the first player to dunk the WNBA. At 6'5", Leslie was more than 5 inches taller than her average WNBA counterpart. What makes it so momentous is that it never happened again. Ever. That's not true. But it would be 3 years before there's another WNBA dunk. Courtesy of, you guessed it, Lisa Leslie. The first person to dunk in any type of situation was Jack Inglis in 1910. But he dunked in probably the least impressive way possible. Back then, basketball barely resembled today's game. Courts were in a cave, backboards were rare, and there was no out of bounds. So Jack climbed up the cage alongside the basket, and when his teammate passed him the ball, he simply dropped it in. No flash, no excitement, and the only air he got was a light wind that was inside his highly exposed thighs. Satisfied? Me neither. The first dunk needs a big crowd and an even bigger stage. The man who most credit with the first dunk in the organized game is Joe Fortenberry. This pasty sack of limbs was born in Happy, Texas, where arms and legs give birth to basketball players. He play in Converse bowling shoes. He took his unique layup, as people called it, from a YMCA in New York City to the Berlin Olympics. Fortenberry, center for the U.S. basketball team in 1936, started garnering attention during the trial games leading up to the Olympics. So much so that the New York Times sent reporter Arthur Daly to cover a game being played on the west side of New York City. It was here that Daly witnessed Fortenberry's warm-up layups, which he described as like a cafeteria customer dunking a roll in coffee. Daly's description was a major influence in coining the term dunk. Basketball.
Come on. Just let it be.
The stage was set. The U.S. was headed to Germany with a secret weapon. Joe f***ing Fortenberry. Basketball dunker. The 1936 Berlin Olympics will always be remembered for Jesse Owens' defiant feat of athletic mastery. But following an opening ceremonies that featured an alarming amount of knockouts, Hindenburg flyover, and 25,000 frightened pigeons all over the attendees,
you don't get the extra, you just get the one.
At this point, Fortenberry's dunking ability was already causing a stir. Japan all players above the grade 6'5".
Yes!
The U.S. won their first round matchup, but Spain never showed up. The Spanish Civil War. Great excuse, and the U.S. made easy work of Estonia, the Philippines, and Mexico, setting up a gold medal game against our enemy to the north, Canada. The final game was played outside in the rain on a slippery clay tennis court, which sounds epic,